Hi. So I will show you in this video that how to install Kali Linux and VMware. Okay. So in order to first of all set up the environment, you need to make sure you are having VMware workstation player along with Kali Linux ISO file. Okay. So first step is that you need to visit kali.org. This is the website from where you can download the Kali Linux operating system. Okay, so first you can click on the download button by visiting this URL kali.org. Now, on the download page, you will be getting options such as image names for different computer systems, for Mac, for Windows, and for other computer systems, operating systems. Okay, so now from here you need to download the Kali Linux 64-bit installer or 32-bit installer, depends on your computer hardware. Okay, so first thing you can download the 64-bit installer or the 32-bit installer, and after downloading the ISO file, we will be configuring it with our VMware player. So first of all, what is VMware player? Like we run a audio in an audio player and we play a video in a video player, just like that, we can play an operating system in a virtual machine player. Okay, as I know, maybe you are having windows operating system already installed in your system, and you may not want to delete that operating system or to lose the data of that operating system. It's better to set up an environment virtually for hacking and ethical hacking purpose. Okay, so first thing is to download the ISO file. It will be having a total size of around 4 GB, and 32-bit installer will be having a size of around 3.5 GB. So first, download by clicking here, or you can download with the help of torrent also. So I have already downloaded it, but I have already downloaded the particular ISO file. So I will skip this one, and I will go to VMware Workstation. Now this is the link for the VMware Workstation player, from where you can simply download the free version of VMware personal use. Okay, so make sure you download VMware Workstation 16 player, as it is the latest one now. Okay, so I'm already having the VMware Workstation 16 player installed in my computer, which looks like this. This is a Workstation 16 player where I will be configuring my Kali Linux. You can see already I'm having different operating systems of Kali already installed. I will show you how to install, how to configure a Kali Linux from scratch. You will go to the option of the home button, click on the home. You will be seeing that create a new virtual machine in the right hand side. Click on create a new virtual machine, and you will get a installation wizard or a new virtual machine wizard. Here you will be able to see three options such as install from disk, install disk image file, and the last one is install later. You need to select the second option. In the second option, you need to click on browse and select the ISO file which you downloaded from the Kali Linux website. Here is my installer. This is the ISO file which I downloaded earlier. I will select this, I will open this, and you can see and notice that could not detect which operating system is in the disk image. You can ignore this, click on next. When you click on next, you will be getting an option to select your guest operating system. So as Kali Linux is a Linux-based operating system, so by default it will select Linux. In the version, you need to select Debian 9.x 64-bit. Make sure to select this one. What is X here? X means whatever version it is after 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, and so on. Okay. After selecting version 9.x 64-bit, click on Next. Now you can name your virtual machine anything you want. Say that I want to name it Kali 2021 demo, or anything you can name it. Okay, so I will name it as version 1.0 for demo, for normal purpose. Now you will select the location where you want to install your virtual machine. I suggest you to leave it default, as it is C drive, documents, virtual machine, and this name. Click on next. You will be getting an option to specify disk capacity. Okay, minimum disk space recommended is 20 GB. It's minimum recommendation. You can go further based on your hard disk and storage. I will be going with 20 GB. It's more than enough, and they will be getting a second option that select the store virtual disk as a single file or split virtual disk into multiple files. Select the second option. Now, what are these options basically? If you select this first option that store virtual disk as a single file, it may run slow in your computer. Or if you select the second option, split virtual disk into multiple files, it will be faster in comparison to the first one. So by default, it will select second option and click on next. Now you will get some hardware configuration options where you can click on customize hardware and you can select your customization based on your needs. First comes the memory. So basically, I suggest you to go with minimum 2 GB of recommended memory. It depends on how much of RAM you are having in your computer system. If you're having more than 12 GB or 16 GB RAM, you can go further with 4 GB or 8 GB. As the higher you go, the more faster your Kali will run. I will leave it as 2 GB by default. Now I will click on processor. Now it depends on how much processor you are having in your computer. So I will go with two processors. Now I will go with the next option, which is network adapter. So you can leave it as default because there is no need of selecting the other option. I will go with NAT used to share the host IP address. Now, because we will be setting up our environment where we will be communicating with our Windows computer as well as Kali, we need to select NAT option. So make sure you selected NAT option. Okay. Now all the things leave as default and click on close. Now click on finish. It will finish the setting of the Kali Linux configuration. Now I will get the option Kali to 2021 version 1.0. The name I selected is ready to use. Just like installing any operating system, we need to also install Kali the same way. So first step, click on play virtual machine by selecting the Kali which you just now configured. When I click on the play virtual machine, it will start booting up. And just like a normal operating system, we need to select the options to install it. You will get few software updates. You can click on remind later. And next screen will be appearing, will ask you to which kind of installation you want to do. Graphical, normal install, advanced options, and other things. Okay. First thing is that you need to select the recommended option, the graphical install. Hit enter. It will go further and will start installation of the Kali. Still, you need to select few other options such as hard disk partitioning, different domain name configurations, and some normal configurations. So basically, first thing, select a language, which I will go with the English. You can select your preferred language. Now I will select the location. I will go with the default one. Now you can select the keyboard. I will go with the American English. You can select your preferred one. Now it will detect the hardware to finish the installation. Let this one finish. Now it will give us to select the additional hardware details. So we'll wait for a moment. Let this one finish. Make sure to follow each and every step properly. Now you can see here, it is asking us to configure the network. Now you can enter the host name for this system. Normally, I leave it as default Kali and I click on continue. Now here it will ask you for the domain name. You can enter any domain name you want. I will be entering as onebytelabs.com, or if you want, you can leave it to localhost. Now I will click on continue. So basically, the domain name depends that if you are using the domain name as a network configuration, but I recommend you to use localhost. After clicking on continue further, it will be asking you to enter a new username. A username you can select based on your needs. Just make sure you do not select root. We cannot assign root username as it is already reserved for system usage. You can give any name you want. I'm giving my name as a username. You can select use. Okay. Click on continue. This is the username of my account. Click on uh, continue. Okay. So everything is set up. Full name for the user, username for the user, and then password. You can select any password you want. Make sure you must not forget the password as it is hard to reset the password in Kali. So I'm selecting a default password so that I must not forget. and I click on continue. Now it will do the rest of the configuration such as setting up the clock and rest of the details. We'll wait for a moment. Now here it will ask you to select the configuration of the clock based on your time zone. So you can select your preferred time zone. I will select a specific and I will click on continue. You can select your own time zone based on your details. Now it will detect the disks for the installation of the operating system. Now here you'll be getting few options such as which guided partitions to use. Leave it default as with the first one guided use entire disk and click on continue. Now it will ask you which disk to use. So basically we allocated 20 GB. It will show you 21.5. Select that one, click on continue. Now it will ask you a few more options. Leave it default with the first option, click on continue. Again, click on continue. It will ask you to confirm whether write changes to the disk or not. Click on yes and click continue. Now it will take some time to install the base system. We need to wait for some time. It may take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on the system speed. We'll wait for a moment. Now, after the latest update of the Kali Linux 2021, here you can select what default options and default softwares and packages you want in your system by default. Now, whatever the softwares we need, we can also install it later, but make sure to leave all these default options so that it must not consume more memory which we don't need. Leave this as default, click on continue. Now it will start installation of the software and you can see there are more than 1900 files, so it will take a lot of time. So we'll wait for a moment and then we'll proceed ahead with the further configuration. Right now, Kali is installing all the required softwares by downloading it from the servers. So we need to make sure to wait for some time. Also make sure that you're having active internet connection so that you must not face any issues. Okay, the installation is done. All the softwares are installed. Now it will ask you to install the grub bootloader. You need to select yes because a bootloader very important in order to boot your operating system. Click on continue. Now it will ask you to enter device manually or select the particular location. So we will select the second option, click on continue. Now it will install the grub bootloader, which will be used to load our and boot our operating system. Now it will finish the installation and will take some more time. Let us wait for that. Now the installation is totally completed. You can see it's showing a message, installation is complete, so it is time to boot into your new system. Make sure to remove the installation media so that you boot into the new system rather than restarting the installation. Click on continue. It will finish the installation one more time and will boot up the system. You can see it is booting up and will take 3, 2, 1 and it will start booting. You can see the Kali Linux logo is appearing on our screen, which means it's successfully configured and now it is booting up. We'll wait for a few more minutes and let us see how the user interface looks like of Kali Linux graphical version. Now, here we are. It is asking us for the username and the password. Now, whatever username you selected, just insert that, and the password which you selected, insert that. Click on login. Now we are logged in. It will be loading us the desktop, and here we are. Our Kali Linux is totally installed. Everything is set up, everything is completed. Let the desktop icons load. Here we are. Now everything is done. Your Kali Linux is successfully installed. Everything is working fine. Make sure your network is already configured because after selecting the NAT, you can say it will totally work. You can check with the help of Firefox and by opening Google, I can verify whether internet is working in my Kali or not. That's the most important thing. Lots of users they face adapter issues, Wi-Fi adapter issues in their Kali, because of which they fail to use internet in their Kali. Now you can see Google is working because I selected the NAT configuration. So make sure to select the NAT. If after selecting NAT also, if it is not working, select the bridge, the first option. Still, after selecting bridge, if it is not working, then you may be having some adapter issues and you may need to purchase a new Wi-Fi adapter, a separate Wi-Fi adapter. This is it, how to install Kali, how to configure in VMware and how to use. So environment setup is totally completed. In the next video, I will show you, in the next lesson, I will show you that how to use Kali Linux command and how to become familiar with Kali Linux. Thank you.